Good afternoon. This is Mr. Tom out at our wetlands at the Museum of Prairie Fire. You might recognize the building here. See our dichroic glass in the background behind me here. So this week we're going to talk about pollination science. Okay, basically what is pollination and how does it work? Why is it important? Okay, and I'm going to do a quick little video, try and keep it a quick little video on a fun little project that models how pollination works. But first I thought I'd start out here. It's a nice day. Light's a little harsh for video making, but that's okay. Walked around our wetlands, didn't really see many blooming flowers at all, except for the dandelions. There are some red buds blooming though. If you look closely at those, right about this time of year, you'll just see they're look like little clusters of sort of pinkish reddish buds. A couple weeks time, they'll just be flourishing everywhere. It's really nice to see, a lot of color. And I also saw a couple bumblebees out flying around. Now, red buds can be a source of pollen and nectar. If you follow along in the guide, you'll learn what pollen and nectar is if you don't know what that is already. But for the most part, things are, just still sort of kind of waking up, okay? But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back inside, and then I'm going to show you how to model pollination. Hello again. We are back inside now. For those of you that have been to our museum, you might recognize this space. This is our discovery room. See our sycamore tree right there, bottom of the sycamore tree. That's where we have a fun little scavenger hunt. Kids can do. Adults can do it as well. It's pretty fun for them. So anyway, I got an assortment of materials laid out on the table to show you. All right, so let me just bring this a little closer here. All right, so we've got 3 different colors. Here, I'll just show you one. We got 3 different colors of Kool-Aid mix, or powdered drink mix. So I got yellow. I am assuming this one is blue. I guess we'll find out shortly. And then we got red. This one's cherry. Tropical punch for the blue, lemonade for the yellow. We've also got 3 cotton swabs right here. I've got some cotton balls. So really all you need is 3, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting these cotton balls in these little cups. So you want to put 1 or 2 in each cup. So anywhere, 3 to 6 cotton balls would be fine. So I got 3 of these little Dixie cups here. Okay, and these cups are, in our model, they're going to be our flowers. Okay, so we got 3 flowers, cotton balls, cotton swabs, drink mix. It doesn't have to be Kool-Aid. It can be a lemonade mix, a Gatorade mix, anything. The key is you do want 3 different colors. And then finally, I've just got a blank sheet of paper here, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. All right, so let me zoom in here a little, and let's get started. All right, well, got my experiment set up here. So as you see right here, I got my 3 flowers. Sure if you can tell here, but I've got 2 cotton balls with the lemonade Kool-Aid mix in here. This one is the cherry. This one here, a little bit of a difference you might be able to tell. This one's the tropical punch. We'll see how different they really are when we get these mixed. You may also notice that I have an additional material right here. It's just a dish of water. That'll make this a little easier to demonstrate. All right, so just real quick, you do have your guide. You can follow along or you can refer to it later. That's fine. But just really quickly, pollination. Pollination generally refers to the transfer of pollen from one flower to another, more specifically, one reproductive part of a flower to another reproductive part of another flower. Okay, so it's transfer of pollination, transfer of pollen. Okay, and then you got your set of vocabulary words on the guide there, so you can refer to those later. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I want to take a cotton swab, dab it just a little bit in the water. Don't need to get it super soaking wet, just nice and damp there. Now what I'm going to do, take my swab, and I'm just going to dab it on the cotton ball, and I can see here, let me bring it up close. You can just see there, see it's getting a little yellow. It's because, of course, the water's mixing with the drink mix. Okay, see the yellow on the swab? And then what I'm going to do, just as a reference for me, I am going to take the swab and wipe it on the paper. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Not really coming through the video well, but you can see there's a little sort of wettish dab right there. The trick is I want to be able to see what colors I come up with on the sheet of paper and compare them. Right. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a fresh swab. Just put this one off to the side for now. Same thing, dip this one in the water. Just like that. Okay, now I am going to go over to the flower with the cherry mix. Okay, you can see, yeah, that one's really showing up there. See that? All right, now I'm going to wipe this on my paper. And oh yeah, you can, even from there, you can see that really clearly. Okay, so you can barely see the yellow at all. You can really clearly see that cherry one. All right, now, fresh swab, again, dip in the water. And you can probably guess what I'm going to do now. I'm going to dip it in the tropical punch. It smells good. Definitely smells tropical. All right. Well, not a lot of difference. I was hoping this one would be darker. Actually, to me, it seems like it's just a tad bit lighter than the cherry. Interesting. All right. Well, anyway, so you got 3 different colors there. You get, it's very, very faint, but there is a yellowish color on this dot here. Then, of course, you got a nice, brilliant, deep red. Looks like a little bit slightly lighter red here. Now, just as an optional addition to this, because this doesn't take long, what you can do is you can have more of these little cups. You can use portion cups or little Dixie cups like this. Really, any little small cup would be fine. More cotton balls and more drink mix. You can either use the same different 3 colors here, or you can use yet a different color if you can find one. Again, you can use Gatorade mix, lemonade mix, whatever you can find, just any kind of powdered drink mix. But what's you might be able to notice is that this is like the bee visiting the flower, right? Now, when you go outside and you watch bees, do you see them just visiting one flower? If you watch them long enough, usually you actually see them just kind of darting around to different flowers, okay? Now, imagine what happens. Now, again, you can go through this in your guide, but just really briefly, I'm going to explain what happens. Each time a bee visits a flower, it's going to collect some of the pollen on its hairs. And when that bee then goes to another flower, some of that pollen is actually going to get rubbed off into another flower. So imagine what happens. The more flowers you visit, the more pollen from different flowers actually gets transferred. So that's really interesting. So maybe just a nice addition you might want to try to this experiment. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed. Read along the guide, and I will see you next time for a new video. Thanks.